welcome to a beautiful show, a beautiful night, a beautiful man. I'll let you bad tonight.
Alright, let's tell some stories. Oh, that's good. So, probably about 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago or so. I was working pretty heavily and pretty hard in the oil field, right? And really hard days, long days, tough days, fun days, but I had this buddy of mine. It got to the end of the week, and it was because we worked, Monday through Saturday, 99% of the time. And it got to Saturday. We finished work Saturday, and he and I, we wanted to kind of party, blow off some steam, have a little bit of fun, meet some women, Of course, we were both single back then. And so we decided to drive to this town about an hour and a half east of here, right? It's a bigger town. They got, more things going on, more women, more of a party scene, than, because we live in a relatively small town here. You can still party here, but we just wanted to get away, it's like you're serving a prison sentence or something, working in the oil field sometimes. You're just like, I just need to get out of this town, right? So we went to this town and we did our thing. We partied up, the night. We went there specifically to meet girls, because for guys, let me clear this up for you. For guys, when we need to blow off steam, if guys tell you I need to go party, I need to blow off steam, I need to clear my head, if guys use that terminology, he's going to look for girls, okay? Let the record show. JJ Blackenstack said it here on Behind the Glass Coffee Talks, okay? He's going to look for girls. I need to blow off some steam, I need to clear my head, or I just need to relax and get away. If guys are using those words, alright, we're looking for some girls. I mean, there's variations to that, but generally I think I'm pretty close, right? So we wanted to do all those things. What the heck? It's on my shirt. Why didn't you guys say anything to me about this? Terrible wingman. So we wanted to blow off some steam, right? Went off to this town. Now mind you, it's Saturday night, okay? From what I recall, it was fairly cold. I don't remember what month it was, but it was pretty cold. So there wasn't necessarily a lot of snow on the ground, but I think there might have been like an inch, something like that, just a nice coating. We stayed there, partied, and at the end of the night, he and I had no luck whatsoever. Like, I recall we were out, like, we got on the dance floor. We drank, we were getting pretty tuned up, and if anybody knows anything about me, back in my younger days, getting on the dance floor, I would do if I was desperate. So, what does that tell you? I'm pretty sure I was out there on the dance floor that night. Anyway, nothing happened, right? We couldn't, back then, we were amateurs, still are to a certain extent. Do you ever... I don't know. If you ever proclaim yourself to be a female guru, what? Like, I don't know. We weren't female gurus. And so we're at this town. We gotta work again on Monday. It's already Sunday morning, because all the bars there close at 1. So we got there Saturday night. It's Sunday morning. We're done. Bars are closed down. We got no girls. We went, spent some money. We had a little bit of fun, but the real fun is when you can hang out with some girls, and party a little bit. So that didn't happen. So we're like, man, screw this. I don't want to stay here. Everybody wants to sleep in their own beds. And when you're drunk, you don't make good decisions, right? So we made the awesomely intelligent decision, I speak with humor, to drive home. Now we had driven there, I drove us both there in my pickup truck. And he looks at me, he goes, "Are you okay to drive?" Now I had been awake from like 6 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, all the way till 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, right? So I was working on, and I was drunk, tired. I was working on some bad hours, like bad, just not in a good place. But, you know, our brains, we're like, we need to go home. It's only an hour and a half that way, straight down the interstate. Let's go. We get in the truck. Of course, as soon as we hit the interstate, he passes out, right? He's sleeping. I'm like this, and I'm like this. And I'm sure I was swerving everywhere. Mom and Dad, I apologize for this story, but it's a story that people need to know because, you know, my point to this is try to dissuade people from don't drive drunk. Don't, okay? I got lucky this time, right? So we're driving. I am passing out. I'm going in and out of consciousness as we're driving. And I distinctly recall going under the bridges on the interstate. You know, you go under those bridges and you see those big barriers next to you go like that. I distinctly recall on quite a few occasions in my in and out stupor going under these bridges and just seeing the gray, because I was off to one side, way off to another, and I distinctly remember seeing the gray barrier, which I could have ran head first into, doing like 75, 80, whatever we were doing. That barrier going by like my window, like I'm out of it, right? I'm drunk. I was drunk. And at some point in the night on that interstate, I passed out completely. Just gone. And I woke up because I felt myself come out of my seat and the truck had gone off the roads. Like, the fact that we are not dead, you know, because I should have smashed into one of those overpasses, the barriers. I should have. I distinctly recall at least 3 of them going under and thinking, God, what was that? And that was really close, you know, but somehow, thank God, whoever was watching out for us that night, I woke up, because I lifted up out of my seat and we're going down into the ditch, right? 80 miles an hour. Cruise control is set in this pickup truck. And I look around me and we are spinning. Like, remember I told you it was really slippery? I mean, not slippery, but there was a little bit of snow. Like an inch of snow on the ground that day or night or whatever. So when we hit the ditch, it was slick down there. So the truck was just spinning like this. And I come to, like I woke up. And truck didn't flip over. I should have kept that truck for the rest of my life. It was an awesome truck. It was a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500. Lifted up a little bit, sweet looking truck. But that truck didn't flip over. We're spinning through the ditch. I got off of the cruise, stepped on the brakes, there's no cops out here, obviously, there's no traffic to see this, there were no headlights. Soon as the truck stopped, as soon as I got the truck to stop, he was in the passenger seat, and he's fully awake now, and he's looking at me, he's like, "What's going on? What happened?" I was like, "Oh, I think I hit a bump. There's ice all over the road and stuff." I made up some excuse, but I didn't tell him I fell asleep. You know, obviously. So to you, if you're watching this, bro, I passed out. And I think he knew I passed out, but I just lied about it because I hate to lie. I really do. But I did it it was the first thing I said, you know. I wanted to try to save myself. So I didn't want him to know I passed out. I wanted him to think that I was still okay to get us home. So I came up with the ice thing. And I got back on the interstate. And let me tell you, I was awake. From that point all the way home. I was awake. I was still drunk. but I was awake. And, you know, the amount of luck that we had that night, just in every aspect of that drive and everything, just the whole night, the amount of, outside of getting girls, we didn't have any luck there, but the amount of luck that we had that night, mind-blowing. And we're alive today still, both of us. So if anybody out there has plans to drink and drive, don't. It's very possible that you'll get lucky, like I got lucky that night, but don't. If I hadn't, there were so many, I used up, you know, so many opportunities that night to kill us both. You know, I narrowly missed him somehow. I'm telling you, I was drunk. You know, so not good. Not good. You can kill somebody, you can kill yourself. I could have killed me and him. You know, just so many things. So many things. And the fact that you're able to live to tell stories like this, you know, should be used to help other people if you can, to not do the same thing that you just did, right? So don't drive drunk. Just don't. I mean, you don't even need to say any more than that. He and I got lucky that night with that aspect of life, and unfortunately, I wish I could say I never drove drunk again after that, or buzzed or whatever, but I can't even say that. You know, as a human being, I'm not perfect. I've done my absolute best to never drink and drive since that day. But you know, that was 7 years ago. In the time from then till now, there have been instances, you know, where I once again made the choice. And you would think, you ran off the road, almost killed you and your buddy. Why would you still make that choice again? The human brain is you know, I don't know. Who can explain that? Alcohol is a terrible thing. You shouldn't, the best bet is to not even give yourself the option to drive, you know, wherever you're going, don't drive there. Maybe get a Lyft, get an Uber, get something to where you're going, so when you get drunk, you don't have the option to drive anywhere. That's my best advice to anybody out there. And think about all the consequences that can happen from that. Outside of dying or losing your life, losing someone else's life, think about living through all that and go to jail now for the rest of your life for something so stupid, you know? Or killing someone else's family member, you know? Like, so many things can go wrong. So, don't do that. And I won't either. We'll both just agree not to do it anymore, okay? Alright? Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. To being alive and drinking coffee. I'm gonna get ready for this show me and Errol are about to do. And we'll catch you guys on the next Coffee Talk. We'll see ya. Later.